Today we're going to talk about the shoulder and the elbow joint. Starting off with the shoulder, we have the major muscles, which is the deltoid. The origin of the deltoid is the lateral third of the clavicle, the acromion process of the scapula, and the spine of the scapula. Its insertion is the deltoid tuberosity of the humerus. The next muscle we have is the supraspinatus. The origin is the supraspinous fossa of the scapula. The insertion is the greater tubercle of the humerus. We have the teres minor, which originates at the lateral border of the scapula and inserts at the greater tubercle of the humerus. We have the pectoralis major. Its origin is the medial half of the clavicle and the sternum and costal cartilages of ribs 1 to 6. Its insertion is the greater tubercle of the humerus. And lastly, we have the latissimus dorsi. Its origin is the spinous processes of T7 to T12. And its insertion is the intertubercular sulcus of the humerus. Here are the movements of the shoulder. We have flexion, extension, abduction, and adduction. We have circumduction. We have internal rotation and external rotation. One way to stretch out your pectoralis major is by bringing your arms behind your back and locking them together like this. Push your chest out as far as you can and kind of pull on your arms. And push your chest to the ceiling and look up. One way that you can exercise your deltoids is by doing lateral raises to the side with dumbbells. Next, we have the elbow joint. We have 5 major muscles, and I wrote down the origin and the insertion of each so that I don't forget. So we have the biceps brachii first. Its short head originates on the coracoid process of the scapula, and the long head originates on the supraglenoid tubercle of the scapula, and it inserts on the radial tuberosity of the radius. The triceps brachii originates on the scapula posterior surface of the humerus, superior to the radial groove, and then posterior surface of the humerus inferior to the radial groove. It has a long head, lateral head, and a medial head. It inserts on the olecranon process of the ulna. Next, we have the brachialis, which originates on the interior surface of the humerus and inserts on the coronoid process of the and tuberosity of the ulna. Next, we have the brachioradialis, which originates on the lateral supracondylar ridge of the humerus and inserts on the styloid process of the radius. And lastly, we have the anconeus, which originates on the lateral epicondyle of the humerus and inserts on the olecranon process and posterior surface of the ulna. The elbow has 4 movements. We have flexion, extension, we have supination and pronation. A stretch for your tricep brachii is doing this, grabbing your elbow, just bending this one at the back, and pulling towards this arm. It should stretch all down here, and if you switch, an exercise for your bicep brachii is just a normal bicep curl or even a hammer curl with a dumbbell.